We continue the series with Clark approaching a Sun Eater and trying to communicate with it. Before he can succeed, his mother, Lara, interrupts him and asks him what he is trying to do. Clark tells her that he is trying to communicate with the Sun Eater since it is the last of its creatures, and also so that it knows that he is not alone. Lara then caresses his face, and as her voice turns into Brainiac's, she tells him that his kindness is a weakness. Meanwhile, Lois wakes up and finds herself surrounded by planets. All of a sudden, she notices a group of robots led by Jor-El approaching her. Their leader asks her who she is and where she has come from, but Lois does not remember anything and seems confused about what is happening to her. On the other hand, Jimmy tries to figure out how he can help Lois, but Kara reveals that she is now stuck in the Black Mercy, a world that is dominated and controlled by Brainiac. Knowing that the only person who can free his friends is Brainiac, Jimmy tells Kara that they need to try and stop Brainiac from the outside. He then asks Brain and Mala to take them back to Earth. As soon as they arrive on Earth, Jimmy starts a live stream and tries to tell the public that an alien is about to enter their planet. All of a sudden, a robot from the Human Defense Force shoots out a laser beam and cuts the spacecraft in half. Just as Jimmy and an unconscious Lois plummet to the ground, Kara flies to their rescue after telling Brain and Mala to get away. They disappear through another portal, leaving Kara to deal with the situation. As soon as they land, they are surrounded by Task Force X and General Waller, who use kryptonite to weaken Kara. She then arrests Lois and Jimmy for being known accomplices to Superman. Jimmy tries to warn the General about Brainiac, but she refuses to listen to him and locks him up in the back of a prison van. At the same time, Lois is taken into Brainiac's lab where he presents himself in front of Lois in the form of Clark's parents, Jor-El and Lara. They ask her who she is again, but Lois insists that she does not remember anything. Without answering any of her questions, the two of them lock her in and wonder how she got into the Black Mercy since it was not designed to house two minds. Jor-El tells Lara that they need to keep Clark occupied and erase Lois so that their simulation is not destroyed. Just as they leave, Lois notices Clark walking towards her, but since she does not remember him, she assumes that he is the enemy. However, to her surprise, Clark sits down next to her and offers her cake. Lois seems surprised that he knows she likes cake, but when he assures her that the cake is not poisoned. Finally trusting him, Lois takes the cake and introduces herself to Clark. As soon as they shake hands, Lois immediately recalls who she is. She tries telling Clark that he belongs on Earth and has been brainwashed by Brainiac, but Jor-El and Lara's projection appear and erase Lois from Clark's memory. Once again, Lois finds herself where she started. This leaves Brainiac confused as the Black Mercy cannot handle two minds. On the other end, Kara and Jimmy are locked up inside a prison van, along with Lois's body. Suddenly, their van stops. Much to the General's annoyance, her convoy was stopped by journalists who had watched Jimmy's live stream that had recorded their arrest as well. While the General tries to deal with them, Jimmy's co-worker Steve breaks them out of the van and escapes before she can realize that it is a distraction. She then tells Agent Wilson to chase after them, but all of a sudden, they hear a loud rumble and notice Brainiac's spaceship landing on Earth. Meanwhile, back inside the Black Mercy, Lois manages to get trapped again where she tells Clark everything, but as he is taking everything in, Jor-El and Lara's simulation erases her again. This happens several times as Lois tries to come up with different ways to talk to Clark, but every time she gets close, she gets caught by Brainiac, who then erases her all over again. However, at one point, as Lois explains everything to Clark again, he asks her why she would bother going through everything. At the same time, Jor-El and Lara realize that Lois has managed to reach Clark again. They rush to the lab, but find them missing. On the other end, Lois confesses her love for Clark, causing him to start remembering snippets of his life. However, he tells her that everything is too jumbled up for him to make sense of it. Clark realizes that Lois came for him and is about to kiss her when Jor-El punches him and throws him back. He then goes to deliver one last punch, but Lois stops him and throws him back at superhuman speed, surprising herself and Clark. On Earth, Brainiac tells everyone that they can either surrender to him or resist him so that he can turn their planet to ash. This does not deter General Waller, as she orders the Human Defense Force to shoot at him. The missiles do nothing to harm Brainiac, and he even takes down Task Force X. The General then orders Lex to activate the Metallos that now have a new Kryptonian power core. At the same time, inside the Black Mercy, Lois asks Clark how she was able to take down Jor-El, and he reveals that everything is happening inside his memory, and he thinks that Lois is the strongest person out there. When the two of them finally share a kiss, Clark transforms into Superman, and with Lois's help, breaks through the barrier of the Black Mercy. As soon as Lois wakes up, she rushes to find Clark. She, along with Jimmy, notices Brainiac shifting back to his original body, leaving an unconscious Clark to plummet to the ground. Frustrated, Brainiac releases his drones that destroy the Metallos. He then charges a laser beam and shoots it towards the ground, but Kara takes the hit. Unfazed, Brainiac charges it again, but before he can fire it, Clark stops the beam and tells Kara that they need to take down Brainiac together. However, things go from bad to worse as Brainiac hacks into the Metallos and starts controlling them. As the Metallos start shooting at Clark and Kara, they manage to land a hit. He then claims that he deems Earth unworthy and starts firing up the beam again. General Waller starts firing missiles at Brainiac's spacecraft, but it remains intact. At the same time, Lois, Jimmy, and Steve are about to get attacked by a Metallo, but are saved by Dr. Irons. Lois tells him that they need to get to Superman before he is killed, and he reveals that he has already called for backup. In the city center, Livewire, Heatwave, and their accomplices help rescue Clark before a Metallo can kill him. When he asks them who sent them, they confess that Sam Lane had come up with the plan. At the same time, Sam rescues General Waller and hands her a weapon so that the two of them can take down as many Metallos as they can. Livewire asks Superman what his plan is, and he tells them that they need to take down Brainiac because, with him gone, the threat to Earth goes away as well. He then turns to Kara and asks her how they should go about it. She tells them that they need to get through the Metallos to reach Brainiac's mainframe. While Livewire and the others take care of the Metallos, Superman and Kara fly into Brainiac's spacecraft and ask him to surrender. Brainiac laughs and tells them that they are weak just like the people of Krypton. He tells them that Jor-El was trying to have peace talks with the enemy, and on the day that the ceasefire was going to be announced, he activated their greatest weapon and wiped the people of Krypton out. He then deactivates Kara, causing her to lose consciousness. When she wakes up again, she starts shooting lasers out of her eyes and attacks Superman. Brainiac notices Clark holding back, trying to protect Kara, and orders the rest of his drones to annihilate him. In the meantime, everyone watches Kara attacking Clark and assumes the worst. The only person who realizes that something must be wrong is Jimmy. They take Steve's van so that they can meet with Clark. At the same time, Clark redirects Brainiac's laser beams towards his drones and takes Kara away from the line of attack. As the two of them crash into the ground, Clark hugs Kara while she tries to resist him. He reminds her that she is loved and that she has friends who care about her. Jimmy then hugs her from behind as well until eventually, Kara manages to break herself free from Brainiac's control. Angry for letting him control her, Kara flies towards his spaceship and starts pushing it out of Earth. Superman helps her push him out and they leave him near the sun so that he can be destroyed once and for all. However, as Brainiac gets near the sun, he activates something inside the ship and reveals that he has synthesized kryptonite. A beam shoots out of the spacecraft, but before it can hit Superman, Kara pushes him out of the way and takes the hit. She is then thrown towards the sun, where she loses consciousness. She dreams of Clark helping her, and when she opens her eyes, she is surprised to find Clark holding her. He tells her that he will always save her since she is his only family. However, he also claims that the two of them cannot escape the sun. This is when Kara notices that the damage caused by kryptonite is healing and realizes that since they are Kryptonians, they get their power from the sun. Charged once again, they combine their powers and destroy Brainiac's ship. Brainiac somehow manages to survive and uses his last remaining strength to attack, but Kara overpowers him easily and takes him down. A few days later, Kara wakes up in Smallville, where she is welcomed by both Jimmy and Clark's parents. As per the Kent family tradition, Clark teaches Kara how to play catch. At the end of the episode, the Daily Planet publishes an article that details what happened, and also clarifies that Superman and his cousins saved Earth from getting destroyed. Lois also tells Clark about the job offer she had received from Vicky Vale, but before she can say anything, Clark tells her that he can travel back and forth in minutes using his super speed. However, she confesses that she does not want to be the second Vicky Vale, but rather the first Lois Lane. With everything back to normal, Jimmy, Kara, Clark, and Lois begin spending more time together, but some things remain unchanged as Clark is called in to rescue people from a plaza fire. Thank you for watching. This is the last recap for this series. What did you think? Please check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.